Get ready with me while I tell you about how I lived with my boy best friend for a week. So in 2024, I went to VidCon with my mom and my guy best friend, Angelo. And I found this beautiful Airbnb that was basically a mansion for only $100 a night, which was insanely cheaper compared to a hotel. So I immediately booked it. A few weeks later, we hopped off the plane at LAX and headed to our Airbnb in an Uber. But when we got to the house, it did not look like the pictures. So we drove around until we found the right house. But when we got there were already cars parked in the driveway. Although scared, we go up to the door and knock anyway when a sweet elderly couple opens it and invites us in. They explained to us that it was a scam and they told us that we could stay there until we found a hotel. But because it was VidCon, everything was booked out and we had to stay like 15 minutes away. So we get in another Uber and arrive at the hotel. Now the story is just getting started, by the way. Because when we got to the room, there were only 2 beds for the 3 of us. So it was Angelo in one bed and my mom and I in the other. It was so funny because we got a glimpse of what it's like living together. So I was going to sleep at 9 p.m. and waking up at 4 a.m. because I like to wake up early to do all my things like brushing my teeth, showering, eating, taking my calls, etc. While Angelo, on the other hand, was enjoying his trip, going to bed at 3 a.m. and waking up at 9 a.m. But because I'm awake so early, I would disrupt his sleep. And to make it worse, I brushed my teeth for 10 minutes with an electric toothbrush. And Angelo hears me brushing my teeth and I feel bad because I'm looking over and I see him in his bed with his pillow over his head and ears trying to mute my toothbrushing. He was so bothered to the point that he had to tell me, Jenny, I don't think it's good for your teeth to be brushing for that long. I remember one night where my mom and I were sleeping and Angelo came back and being the gentleman that he is, he didn't want to wake us up so he didn't turn on the lights. So he ended up tripping and falling and shouting in the middle of the night and woke us up anyway. And by the end of the trip, although we were slightly annoyed at each other because of how different we were, we also grew much closer.
Wait, are you talking about me?
And shout out to Airbnb for giving me a complete refund and $300.